Go ahead.
Hey, welcome back to Thursdays with Culture Talk. And today we're going to take a little shift and start focusing on organizational culture. That's a big topic that's getting a lot of attention these days. And the good news is people are talking about it. The hard news is it's challenging to talk about. And that's because organizational culture can be difficult to define. And we think that's because organizational culture lives in this gap. It exists between what we say we expect and what we actually tolerate in our organizations. And what is that? There's a difference between our mission, vision, and value statements, or maybe the details that we, painstakingly write out in the employment handbook, and those idiosyncratic conversations that form and the relationships between people in the workplace, things that are welcome or taboo to talk about, the way we approach topics where there is no clear definition, like wellness and outside of the benefits program, how we treat people around family life, work-life balance, what our definition of those things are. And so how do we get between these tangible things and these intangible, difficult to measure things? Well, we have some ideas about that.
Yeah, we've been talking about archetypes, and we've been talking about them in individuals and how these patterns, these story patterns, help us in individuals to uncover our unconscious motivations, beliefs, and behaviors. And we can use these same 12 patterns to uncover in an organizational culture exactly what Teresa's talking about, that material that exists in the gap between what we expect and what we tolerate. And there's lots of great reasons for trying to uncover that content and behavior. We might be looking at how do we brand our organization, or how do we develop an employment brand that really tells our story in a solid way. That might be one reason to measure what exists in the culture. We might be trying to shift into new behavioral patterns. Maybe there's something in our culture that we perceive as holding us back from achieving some kind of growth initiative. Or a lot of times, organizations that maybe come together in a merger have difficulties that they're trying to work through that are hard to put their finger on, that might be different beliefs and behaviors that show up in their cultural profiles versus their operational profiles. So lots of good reasons that measuring culture can actually be the starting point to achieving some kind of growth, change, initiative, and culture really can become the through line for that. And archetypes provide a really cool way of looking at culture through stories and by uncovering some of that unconscious content. So if you'd like to hear more about archetypes in organizational culture, or some of the other things we've been talking about in terms of teams and leadership development, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your comments. We've got a certification class coming up December 8th. If you'd like to hear more about that, we'd love to share. Thanks so much.
Have a great week.